What up, Net fans? NetsBoy here, bring your latest and your Brooklyn Nets news. It's been about 3 months since my last video. It's currently October 6th, 2014. Yeah, about 3 months. My last video was about the Nets trade of Jason Kidd to the Milwaukee Bucks and them hiring Lionel Hollins and drafting Markel Brown and Corey Jefferson and so on and so forth. And, there hasn't been much to talk about since then because it's been the offseason. Nets didn't really make a lot of major moves. Yes, they got Jarrett Jack and, God, how do you pronounce his name? Like seriously. Sergei Karasev. Sergei Karasev? I don't know how his name is. Eventually I'll figure it out, obviously. When I hear him say his name, I really don't know how it's pronounced. But they got him for Marcus Thornton, and, and then the Nets, just basically didn't do really anything else other than just kind of, Borjan Bogdanovic, another guy got to work on his name. Then he finally came on over and signed, and that's going to be a big player, in my opinion, Borjan Bogdanovic. Those were the major things the Nets did. It's not much else really that they did. Kevin Garnett came back, or is coming back, so he's not retiring. So that was the major moves. They lost Sean Livingston. That's kind of sad. And Paul Pierce, whatever, I can get over that. But really, they are pretty much the same team they were last year. More importantly, they're the same team they were 2 years ago. But anyway, that's really what they did in the offseason. But that's not really what this video is about. This video is more about this weird idea that the Brooklyn Nets are not going to be good this season. I don't get it. Vegas has them over under 41 and a half games. 41 and a half wins. Over under. Now, if you don't know what that means, it means when you go to Vegas, you can either bet over and under a certain number of wins. And that certain number of wins is what they're expected to do. Or what people believe. I don't know how exactly they figure out the numbers. Experts or something or whatever. It's the odds of what people are expecting them to do. Over or under 41 and a half. That means that people think this Nets team is only going to win around 42 games this coming season. 42. What? How could you think that? I don't get it. I don't understand the logic here. And hear me out here. This is why. This Nets team is very similar to the Nets team 2 years ago. Remember 2 years ago? When they had Joe Johnson, Brook Lopez, Darren Williams, Chris Humphries, and Gerald Wallace. And little fun side fact, I mentioned this in one of my older videos. That draft pick that the Nets traded for Gerald Wallace to the Trailblazers became Damian Lillard. So, you can put 2 and 2 together about how great of a deal that was. But, you know what? I'll give Billy King a pass because at the time I might have made the same trade too because I don't think anyone would realize how useless Gerald Wallace would become. And but remember, Billy King swung him in the deal to get Garnett and Paul Pierce, right? Yeah, that really worked out too. Jesus. Look, you can't blame Billy King for trying to improve the team, but those 2 moves really didn't work out in his favor. But like I said, whatever. It is what it is. It's part of being a general manager. Side of the point. But that Nets team, Darren Williams, Joe Johnson, Brook Lopez, Chris Humphries, Gerald Wallace, then had a really bad bench. Not a bad bench, but not a good bench. They had CJ miss a fast break dunk and cost your team the playoffs, Watson. They had Andre Blatch, and they had Reggie Evans, and then they had, I can't remember anybody else who was really on that bench. It was not a strong bench. So basically the team was just Brook Lopez, Joe Johnson, and Darren Williams. That team won 49 games that year. 49. So someone please Explain to me why that same exact team, Joe Johnson, Brooke Lopez, Darren Williams, and now in my opinion, better power forward in Kevin Garnett. I would start Allen Anderson as the small forward who can stretch the floor out. He's basically just as good as Gerald Wallace was then. And then an actual really good bench in Jerry Jack, who averaged 10 points a game, and Mason Plumlee, who provides energy, and Mirza Teletovic, who's made some big shots, Andre Kirilenko, who's been fantastic in his energy providing, Bogdan Bogdanovic, who could be one of the rookie of the year. I don't know. Like, someone needs to explain to me why that team is going to be worse than the other team that won 49 games. Someone needs to explain it to me. I don't get it. It makes no sense. What's the logic? I've asked people. I've gone around. What's the logic for this? Oh, there's too many question marks the Nets have. Every team has question marks. We don't know if Brooke Lopez is going to stay healthy. We don't know if Derrick Rose is going to stay healthy. The Bulls are still expected to win 55 games. Kevin Love had a great year last year. The year before that, he missed half the season because he broke his hand sleeping. He broke his hand sleeping. They're so expected to win 58 games. Question marks are surrounding all teams. But why? No, we don't know what Darren Williams is going to give you. Darren Williams is going to give you 16 and 7 like he's done the last 2 seasons. He's not going to give you more. He's not going to give you less. Well, he could give you less, but he shouldn't. I get the question mark. Every team has question marks. But why don't you look at what you have? You have basically the same exact team core that you had 2 years ago when he won 49 games, but better other players around him. So why would you expect him to win only 41 games? That makes no sense at all. Brooke Lopez is going to get hurt. Guess what? He was hurt all of last year, almost only played 17 games. They still won 44, which was more than 41. So if he goes down, they should still go away with 44 games. Still. Oh, well, they didn't play as well when Brooke Lopez was there. Jason Kidd didn't know how to coach that team. He did not. Lionel Hollins is notoriously known to work with 2 great big men. He had Zach Randolph and Marc Gasol and made that Memphis team that really had no one else. I mean, yeah. You know, what's his name? The point guard. Whatever, it'll come to me eventually. I can't believe I can't even remember his name. But, yeah, he was occasionally good. But, I mean, really they had nothing, and they still made it to the Western Conference Finals. So someone, please. Mike Conley, that's it. Mike Conley. Mike Conley. And they made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals. So somebody needs to explain to me, please, why this team's going to be worse. Oh, they don't have Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce was one of the most useless players the Nets had last year. He was all hype. He did 2 good things. He made that one big jump shot and said, "That's why I'm here. That's why they brought me here." And then he decides to peace out to Washington. And then he blocked Kyle Lowry in Game 7. But a block nonetheless. It was Kyle Lowry. He's falling forwards, has a second to try to get a tough shot off, and just throws it up. Newsflash, I could have blocked Kyle Lowry in that situation because all he had to do was do this because he had to shoot the ball. And you could just anticipate that's what he had to do. And we applaud him for that. The guy averaged 12 points a game. Allen Anderson as a starter could probably average 10. So how much better is Paul Pierce? He's not. He just got in the way of Joe Johnson being even better, in my opinion. So, no. Brooke Lopez goes down. Slide Kevin Garnett as the starting center. And slide Mirza Teletovic, who, by the way, would be a better fit, in my opinion, as a stretch 4, as a starter. Or Andre Kirilenko. And that team would still probably win about 44 games like they did last year without Lopez. I don't get it. Someone explain it to me. Why do people think this team is going to win only 41 to 42 games? Logically, it makes no sense. Question marks, injuries. Kevin Love is one nightmare away from breaking his hand. One bad dream. Oh, my hand. Like, what? Derrick Rose is one slip on a banana peel from re-tearing his ACL. What? And people still think those are the greatest teams around. I don't get it. Look at the team as is. You look at the Cavaliers as is. You look at the Bulls as is. Look at the Nets as is. As is, they are at least a 48-win team, in my opinion. And that's what I expect them to be in 48 to 52 games. That's what I thought they would do last year, which I still think they should have. They just massively underachieved. But to say 41 games or 42 games is what they're going to win? Look, there's no such thing as a sure bet in Vegas. But that's a pretty damn good one, in my opinion. If I had a good chunk of money, I would go right to Vegas and bet definitely over on the Nets. And I almost guarantee that I would walk out in the plus. The only way they could possibly win 41 or 42 games is if half the team gets hurt. If, like, Darren Williams gets hurt and Brook Lopez gets hurt and all they are Joe Johnson and, Bogdanovic ends up being a bust and Plumlee doesn't grow the way they expect to and Kirilenko gets hurt. That's what would need to happen, and the team just needs to be Joe Johnson. That's what would need to happen for this team to win only 41 games. Could that happen? Yeah, it could. Anything could happen. I mean, that's just the nature of the sport. Same thing could happen to the Bulls or the Cavaliers. Kyrie Irving, he's got hurt a lot of times. He could get hurt. Kevin Love could break his hand during a really unpleasant dream. Now you got LeBron James and a bunch of mediocre players. Oh, look, it's the Miami Heat 2.0. I mean, anything could happen. Anything. But you have to look at what you've got. And what you've got, in my opinion, is almost the same exact team except better that won 49 games. And I don't get it. Someone should explain to me. I mean, I think it has to do with the fact that people are like the story, Raquel Prokhorov says we're going to win in 5 years. They go out there, they trade away all their future talent to get all these players that haven't worked out. And now, if we say that they're going to be terrible, people are going to soak that in. It's a New York media team. Nothing's better than a team that's going to be bad, especially when they said that this is the year they're going to at least win a championship. That's what I think. I also think people have their heads so far up their asses that they're not thinking logically, and they just want to poo-poo on every single thing that the Nets do because it's kind of the fun thing to do. We want to get in that negative bandwagon of a team. We love pointing out the flaws and mistakes that teams make, and we completely disregard the great moves that they've done. We like pointing out the negative, and that's what they're trying to do. I ain't buying it. I look at it as what it is, and that, in my opinion, is the Nets being a 48 to 52 win team. I'll take over on Vegas. Definitely I'll take over. It's ridiculous. I mean, just look at it. Just look at it logically. That's all I got to say about that. And that's really what this video is about. It was just something that's been bugging me constantly. These people just... Michael K. said he'd take under on the Nets. I was watching and listening to the radio. First of all, if Michael K. says anything about basketball, you have to just completely disregard it. It's not his sport. It's never been. He's a baseball guy and a football guy. Basketball, he doesn't know anything about basketball. He can say he does because he's paid to know about it, but he knows as much about basketball as I know about hockey. All right? I didn't even know there was 8 Canadian teams in hockey. I found that out like a week ago. So, shut up. And these analysts need to shut up. And I want to know where they come up with this. Like I said, could this happen? Could they win 42 games? They would need a really crippling season of injuries to make that happen. And I would not bet on that. I would definitely bet over. It's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, on a lighter note, before I wrap up this video, I would like to once again thank everybody for coming and to listening to these NetsBoy videos. I see I've got 14 subscribers, which is more than what I had last video. So I thank again, and only one person I know is my friend. So I think it's pretty cool that 13 strangers have stumbled across, this short, chubby, animated guy who's passionate about basketball, and you guys have decided to listen to me. So I thank you guys a lot. Maybe if I get a couple more viewers and a couple more, subscribers, I might actually look into getting some real production equipment instead of just using my camera phone that I occasionally drop and has lag sometimes, and and all that stuff. Maybe I'll actually get some real equipment to make it better. Obviously I do everything on one take. You can tell if you haven't noticed that because I don't have the equipment. But I have to buy the equipment, and for me to buy the equipment, I have to have a reason to. So hey, send these videos around. Post them on your Facebook. Post them on your Twitter. Just go around, say, hey man, you're a Nets fan? Oh, dude, check out this guy. His name's NetsBoy. Do stuff like that. Spread it around. See what happens. And, you never know. But I do thank you all again for coming for what I guess would be considered the second season of NetsBoy. Whatever. But thank you again. Maybe I can do, like I said, maybe I'll make this less amateur, but I think that's kind of the appeal. But we'll see. Keep your eyes open for the latest NetsBoy episodes. Probably be next week, maybe 2 weeks, and I'll give you my preseason predictions, standings-wise, and so on and so forth. But this video was just my venting about all the stupidity I've been hearing about the Nets. Tell me what you guys think. I think I'll be interested to read what some of you guys actually think the Nets, how many wins they should actually have. I'm going to say 48-52. Obviously, the people from Vegas say 41-42. So let me know what you think, and tell me if you agree with me, because I really feel like, it's a little disrespectful to the Nets team and organization to claim, looking at the whole body of work, that they're only going to win 41-42 games. But that's just me. But once again, thanks again, and until next week, this is NetsBoy, signing off.